So my oxygen went down into the 70s last night, 79. I had I struggled all night to try to keep my airway open, right? I've got this oral device in my mouth. I'm shoving my chin up. And basically, it's the constant threat of my throat closing. I fell asleep after 8 o'clock this morning. I had 4 hours of sleep, my oxygen going to 79. And it will go lower. Usually it's in the 80s lately. You know, there's this thing about doctors. I'll look for the video. It's by Dr. Erin Nance, and she also goes by Little Misdiagnosed, and she's an advocate. She's in the United States. I'm in Canada. But she's an advocate for complex patients and misdiagnosed patients and women and complex doc. The public doesn't know this, and I didn't know this when, you know, I didn't know this all my life either. Doctors really don't want complex patients. Doctors give up on complex patients. They turn us away. And as a complex patient, I always feel like I'm on trial, like I'm doing something wrong. I feel like I'm in a court of law and I don't deserve health care. I'm not sick unless I can prove that in a court of law. And I do not deserve health care unless I can find a way to prove everything how sick I am. And I always feel like I'm on trial and I'm being second guessed. Uh, and I get it. I get it. I understand the position doctors are in. But but this has brought me to where I've had to quit my full-time job. I've had to quit my part-time job, and I'm sitting here 365 days a year sick because I don't sleep. So am I doing this for fun? Am I doing this cuz I'm greatly benefiting, you know, from this? Am I, you know, what? People are sending me hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations in GoFundMe's. What am I benefiting from trying to I've lost almost everything. And proved them. I've proved that I'm sick over and over again. I've proved this. I've found out so many things. It's taken me years and years to figure things out, and I'm still struggling to get the help I need. And you know, when I approach doctors get weary of doctors get weary of complex patients very quickly, and you don't know how to approach them, and you don't want to see as a as a complex patient. I always feel like, oh, I don't want to annoy them, don't want to bother them. My oxygen is now into the 70s, and I don't know how to approach doctors because I don't want to annoy them. Like this is their job. Why should I be made to feel that way? Because I've been made to feel that way dozens and dozens of times. Like I'm an annoyance. This is your job. This is what you do for a living, is try to help people. But they refuse us care. They turn us away. They tell us it's anxiety. I just watched a woman. I'll see if I can download her video. I don't think I can. A woman leaving the doctor's office crying. She audio recorded parts of the appointment. She even took her husband with her. She's having weird symptoms and stuff. They own their own business. And the doctor is still trying to pull this anxiety thing that it's imaginary. And she's even got her husband there with her. I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I've got Chiari malformation, breathing issues, complex breathing issues, sleep apnea, a lack of drive to breathe, troubles with my oxygen, but I don't qualify for home oxygen because my oxygen isn't low enough, long enough. Each country or province has a different criteria to give you oxygen. You have to fit the criteria, otherwise you're paying for it. I don't have hundreds of dollars a month for home oxygen or whatever it costs. I have no idea. I don't know how to approach my doctor now. I mean, he seemed great, and now he's backing off, and this is what many doctors are. They don't want complex patients. And I approach him saying, I know you've got hundreds of patients. I understand that. I understand that I don't come first. I know that. But I'm suffering here. I'm suffering. And I know everyone else is suffering, but I need help. I've been fighting for decades to get the proper help I need. Now I've reached a point. I don't know how to approach him. Because you can sense when they start pulling back. My life has gotten increasingly harder and harder and harder because of medical care, and now I feel like I'm packed into this little box. I feel like I'm in a straitjacket. My life has become so restricted and so strained and so uncomfortable and so small, and I've lost everything, and I'm so restricted. Like, I've lost my job. I'm not making money. I've lost my car. I can't get around and get things. I'm often paying 3 or 4 times as much for products because I can't get around. My credit has been destroyed from this. My health, people don't understand how you can lose everything in Canada because you're not getting the health care you need. You can lose everything. Your house, your car, your family, your job. You can end up homeless because you're not getting the health care you need in Canada. And they refuse to provide patients advocacy. And now I feel like I've reached the point where I need an advocate with my fantastic doctor. My doctor that I used to rant and rave about, not rant about, but rave. Because I can tell he's backed off. I have no options. The trashing of me in my medical records everything that has happened is misdocumented in my records. No, I'm not talking about this doctor, this family doctor. If anybody, honestly, I could sit with anybody. I could sit with the regulatory board here, and we could go through all my records, and I could tell them. And I promise you, at the end of the conversation, at the end of an hour or two, they would believe me about everything that's happened. But there's no way of people, you've got doctors reading through your medical records. You're not there. You're not present. You're not there to disprove. My head is killing me. 4 hours of sleep, my oxygen is starting to go into the 70s. My head is killing me. It's a really hard pill to swallow that you're not going to get medical care in your country. I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm heartbroken. I'm devastated. I'm terrified. Like, help seems so close. I'm so close to the finish line. I feel like I'm close to the finish line of solving all of this. But yet, there's 1,000 hurdles to jump over and hoops to jump through, and they make it impossible to get care. I don't understand it. I'm suffering so bad. And here I am. Here I sit. I've got no car. I've got no help. I'm powerless. You're rendered powerless. I've been fighting for 45 years. Misdiagnosed over and over again. And I was compliant. I took the pills. I did everything they wanted me to do. The solution would be someone, family, come and get me out of here and get me the care that I need. That's the solution. I don't have the means to do that. Because ultimately, that's what the system expects you to do. They expect you to get up and leave the area to get help. Because they create something that's just so messy that there's no way to combat what has been done. And there's no way to combat their resistance. So if you can't leave, if you don't have the financial means to leave and get the help you need, you're done. That's what I feel. That becomes reality for a lot of people. And it all comes down to money. You know what? I used to have a job. But what happened to my job? I used to have people. I used to have a car. I used to have all these things are power. And those things will help you get health care. A family, people backing you up, money to get somewhere else to get health care. All these things. You might not realize it, but all these things are power. Money, family, a job, a car, your health. If you're healthy enough to get from point A to point B, I'm not healthy enough to get to another city. I'm too sick. All these things are power. Your health, a car, money, your job, a family behind you, a husband supporting you, fighting for you.